Thank you guys for logging on and joining us for this segment of the Minority Marketplace. I'm your host, Michael Bailey, and my guest with me today is Mr. Curt Thomas. How you doing, Curt?
I'm great, Mike. How are you?
Oh, man, I'm great. Great to have you on, man. I've been trying to get you on here for a minute now.
Thank you,
you got a new book coming out. Start off by telling us a little bit about that book.
The one that's coming out in a few months?
The one that's coming out in a few months.
Well, Mike, the one that's coming out in a few months is actually, I'm expanding my brand,
Okay.
Curt Thomas Unlimited, and my first 8 books are more self-help along those lines. My next book, Mike, is actually my first romance novel.
Okay.
And it's going to introduce a different audience as it relates to relationships and drama. So basically, Curt Thomas is expanding his brand as a talented writer. So I'm very excited about that. It should be released around Valentine's Day in 2016. So
What's the name?
excited.
Can you share the title with us?
Yeah, I will. It's actually called Seduction.
Okay.
Seduction. So it's going to be, I think it's going to be pretty good.
Okay, okay. Now we most people know you for your first book.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about that book.
Well, my first book was actually called 3 Keys to Becoming a Responsible Student, How to Be Successful in Middle and High School. And Mike, that book offers strategies and ideas for students who are in middle school and high school, how to be more productive, and more importantly, how to be responsible in 3 ways, personally, academically, and socially. I failed 9th grade, and so in this book, it's not too thick, not too thin. It's a life skills book. It gives them an idea of how to combat failure and what to do if you do fail.
Okay. Now you are definitely what they call well published. So how many works do you currently have?
Mike, actually I have 8 currently that are published. 2 books, well, yeah, 8 published, and 1 that will be again released here in February. So actually it will be 9.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Now that's something I would love to write a book, but most people, I'm like most people, man, I don't even know what I'm gonna write about. You've written 8 books.
True.
How do you find the time?
Well, you know what, Mike? I was listening to an interview from Dr. Miles Monroe. He was interviewing. He was being interviewed by an interviewer, and the interviewer was happy about 1 book that he published, and he was excited about 1 book. And Dr. Miles Monroe looked at him and said, "You know what? You're excited about 1. Search your heart. You have at least 10 inside of you, but you got to search your heart." And Mike, I tell you what, when I heard that from Dr. Miles Monroe and I searched my heart, I realized, you know what, Curt Thomas, don't be happy for 1. You got more inside of you. And so basically, I took the time to really search myself and realize what am I passionate about, and prayed about it. And you'd be amazed what happens when you put that midnight oil to work.
One of the things that I always like to do when I talk with authors, because so many people out there want to write books, what kind of advice can you give to people how they can go about doing it?
Well, my first advice, Mike, is for most writers who want to publish a book is to understand I'll put the challenge up for an author. Most authors probably won't sell about 100 books in their lifetime. Right. But I think the most important advice I would give them is that, you know what, don't try to publish the most perfect book in your life. Just start writing. Just put it together. There are editors out there. There are people out there who can put your dreams and your passions, your words, to format it in a way that would help you. But the most important thing is just to get it out of you. Whether you're writing a page a day, 5 pages a day, or 20. Whatever it takes. Before you know it, that 1 page by the end of the year could be a book. Or if you're more passionate about it, 6 pages a day by the end of the month. You know, there are different ways and techniques and a template that I personally use to help me get a book out quick.
Okay.
So.
With 8 titles, which of the titles or which subject do you most like to write about?
I have 8, as you see here, and the most important thing I think that I love to write about as it relates to these books here are things that's going to help a person become their best.
Okay.
Mike, whether it's students, persons, male, female, young and old, I just love putting words in a way that's from my heart that's going to cause that person to search their own heart to bring out their best. And so that's what every one of my books will have. That whether it's a romance novel or not, there's going to be something in there that's going to cause that person to find a mirror to look at themselves and say, you know what, I see Curt's passion, I have the same ability to do that. And so So it's a wonderful thing.
All right. Now, a little bit about your background. You started out in law enforcement?
As a matter of fact, Mike, I was a state trooper for the last 7 years.
Mhm.
7 years here in the state of South Carolina. State trooper for 7 years, from 2008 to 2000 until last year, 2014, July.
Mhm.
So I enjoyed it. Did everything from escorting, traveling the country as a escort trooper for a university,
Mhm.
as well as doing 2 TV commercials for the state. So had a wonderful 7-year tour.
Okay. What, if you can pin it down to
Mhm.
one moment in time, what motivated you or inspired you to say, hey, I want to be an author and a motivational speaker? What was that turning point? Because career in law enforcement, and now you're talking to kids about,
Sure.
you know, being the best they can be. What inspired you to make that change?
I think that question, Mike, will bring a series of questions, a series of
Mhm.
answers. As a matter of fact, when I was probably about 6 or 7, maybe 8, the first person to put a mic in my hand was my father. My father was a pastor, so I've been speaking to crowds since I was about 7 or 8, and doing that for so many years, it kind of puts a seed in you whenever you're, before a crowd and you're giving them inspiration. But I'll tell you one particular thing that stands out, Mike, was one day when I got married 2 years ago. I was having a conversation with my youngest son. His name is Tyler, and I was taking him home because I had to go to my honeymoon.
Okay.
And so Tyler was crying because Dad, I'm getting ready to take him home, but yet he wanted more time with me. And Mike, at that time, Mike, I was actually doing commercials, traveling with the university football team. But at that time, my son didn't care anything about me being a state trooper, me doing wonderful things. All he wanted from me, Mike, was time.
Mhm.
And I realized that I wasn't giving him enough time. And so seeing my son on the passenger side crying, realizing he needed more time from his dad, it made me search more and realize, you know what, Curt, you're comfortable. You're doing great things, but yet your son needs more time with you. And as much as I could have went further in my career with the Highway Patrol, I went home that night and I literally cried. And I prayed, and I said, Lord, you know what, there's something inside of me I got to get out. There's more greatness in me. I don't want to live my life only in a small circle. Help me expand this. And I kid you not, Mike, 9 months later, my first book was published, 3 Keys to Becoming a Responsible Student. And once that was desire was kindled, probably 4 months later, my next book, Success Through Preparation, was published. And so it's only been about, I'll say, 15 months, and 8 books in 15 months is a lot of midnight oil, Mike.
Okay. Now, you started out, you speaking at schools, and now you recently went through some workshops, and now you're on a different circuit. Tell us a little bit about that.
Mike, it's amazing how things happen. Speaking, I heard a quote from Les Brown. He says that you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. And so starting out speaking to kids K through 12, had a wonderful experience doing that. As a matter of fact, I still love doing that. And then speaking to colleges as well and universities. A few weeks ago, I got a chance to be taught and trained by, I feel, one of the world's best motivational speakers, world-renowned Les Brown. Les Brown's been speaking for years, Mike, over 40 plus years. Got a chance to get trained by him and his mentor, Mike Williams. Not just learn how to speak, but to go in depth and realize, the art of speaking, so I can be the best that I can. And so going through Les Brown's training, as well as a school in Camden, South Carolina, called the Buckley School of Public Speaking. I believe as a speaker, in order for me to be the best speaker that I personally, that Curt Thomas can be, I got to stay coachable, learnable, trainable. So it's been a great ride, and hopefully in March you get a chance to get taught by John Maxwell. So it's a wonderful ride.
All right. And so now you're currently doing corporate speaking. You're in the corporate speaker circuit.
Absolutely, because I went through the training with Les Brown, I got a chance now to be introduced to a speakers bureau that's out of Chicago, Illinois, where I'm on the speaker circuit now. I'm listed as a corporate speaker. So basically, you go from level to level. Now I'm at the corporate level, which I didn't anticipate until a few months from now. But it's wonderful when the universe looks out for you because of the hard work and the dedication you put into this arena.
Okay, Curt, where can someone purchase your books? Are all of them on Amazon, or you got a website? Tell us a little bit about how we get a hold of these titles.
Absolutely, Mike. Every book, all eight of my books are located on Amazon.com, also BarnesandNobles.com, and also my personal website, which is www.curtthomas.com. speaks.com. They can find it there on my website as well. So we currently have 3 different locations they can find it.
Okay. Curt, before I let you go, if somebody, not if, I know somebody's out there that wants to be a writer, the one piece of advice, if you could look at them and give them one piece of advice, what would that advice be to become a better writer?
Start at the minute it's in you. Just start. Write a word, write a sentence, write a paragraph. Just get started. Because sometimes along the way they will write a page and then stop. Write another page and then stop. 6 months passes. But to realize, put a vision board would be my advice. Put a vision board of something you really want in life, whether it's to touch people's heart. Write it down, look at it every day. Before you know it, what you see will become ingrained in you, and before you know it, you're writing more, and that's where inspiration comes. And I would advise them to find a mentor. Find someone who has published a book, who is a good writer's coach, and just to get the ball rolling, because I'm sure there's something in them that the world needs to hear, and only they can tell it because it's their experiences.
All right, Curt, man, it was a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for stopping by.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for logging on. If any of you guys out there have you published a book, or you have a product that you would like featured on the Minority Marketplace, send us an email at info@theminority.com. And as always, thank you.